Today I'm gonna show you exactly how you can make a really beautiful fairy type sounding ARP in Diva. It sounds like this. And it's really cool and quite unique. I'm gonna reset this first to the initial settings. First, we need to change this to a DCO. Once we have this switched up, we are going to remove the sub fully for now. This pulse width modulation, we don't really need to use this because we're only going to use the second pulse waveform here. And in the sawtooth, we're not really going to use anything. And in the sub oscillator, we're only going to stay at sub oscillator 2 here. If we would use the fourth waveform on the sawtooth or the fourth waveform on the pulse section here, then we could apply this pulse width modulation. But since we're only going to use 2 and none for the sawtooth, that's going to be enough for now. The second thing we want to do is we want to transpose this up, and now we can increase the sub to around half, and we can also increase the noise a bit. Then in this filter section, pre-filter section, I'm going to use this high pass filter presetting and bring it up to around half. The cutoff, I'm using the cascade mode. And all I'm really doing here is bringing the resonance up slightly and changing LFO2 to LFO1. And I'm also bringing this key follow up a little over half. Now for the envelopes, we can keep these or we can change them. I personally, as you might know, love the analog envelopes. Now you can just copy these ADSR or adjust it as you like. But this is kind of the ADSR I had in the previous sound you heard. Now for the velocity, we can keep it here in the middle, and for the second envelope we can keep the velocity all the way to the max, bring the key follow up a bit more. LFO1, we can change the restart mode to single and the sync mode to 0.1 seconds and bring the rate down a bit, and also decrease the depth mod. We can also deactivate this, we don't really need this, so we're not going to assign it to anything. This one we can change it to the modulation wheel. Now for LFO2, we're going to keep the sync at half. So I just quickly saved it as a 70s sound because it kind of sounds like a 70s sound. You can also feel free to save it. I'm probably going to use this also in my productions. Next up, the tuning. We can just bring this transpose here all the way to 0. And we can also do this with the up and down factor here. We can increase the vibrato slightly and reduce the voices here to 3. We can also now go over here to this amplifier section and pan it all the way to the right. So it starts to modulate between the stereo image. Then we can activate the ARP. Now we set it to 16th note. Reduce the multiply a bit and keep it on the plate setting. So the way we play it, it will follow the keyboard how we play it. Now on the octaves, keep it at 3 octaves, serial and the restart at none. And now we can go over here to the modifications. Now alternatively, we can also set the noise and dual VCO mix here to envelope 2. The dual VCO mix is basically, I mean, usually you have the mix knob here and it's blending between both VCOs, so between basically both oscillators, but now it's, since we don't have that option, you can also control it here, plus you have this noise option, so this will also fade in a bit of noise at times depending on the settings of envelope 2. depending on how you have it set here. For the filter, we can set both to LFO2 and increase this a bit. You can also reverse this. This also sounds nice. Last but not least, we have the trimmers here. And for the oscillator voice detunings, you can kind of just detune these however you want. You don't have to copy me. You can just literally detune these. Now here also reduce the detune amount a bit, so it doesn't detune too much. Turn off here the bipolar noise. And you can go now to the effects and set the first one to a plate reverb and copy these settings. So increase some pre-delay, bring the diffusion down a bit, decrease the damp a bit, increase the decay, decrease the wet a bit, and keep the size how it is. Now you can keep the chorus, but what I did, I applied the delay. So reduce the dry, and for the rest you can kind of just keep it how it is. Oh, and one last thing I forgot to mention is right now we have the noise all the way up. So if we want to come more to the original preset I had earlier, we have to just bring this down a bit. And we can also increase the vibrato, for example. And maybe even, yeah, I think that's it. And that should get a very similar sound to the preset I had. But I like this noise up also a bit more. So that's pretty much the entire preset. There you have a very fairy sounding preset. And yeah, you can check it out on bluroaudio.com in my free preset pack. So make sure to check it out. And if you enjoyed this one, please like and subscribe. I have a lot of sounds like this in my free and full preset pack. And yeah, I'm gonna bring out a lot more of these kind of videos so you can also learn how to make these Diva preset packs. And I'm also going to launch a full breakdown video of Diva and how my thought process is like when I construct certain presets. So stay tuned, subscribe, and keep learning, keep exploring, and stay creative. Have a great day. Take care. See you so soon. Bye-bye.